It's so great to see you guys. I'm so excited to be here to talk about all sorts of fun stuff. We were going to start with clowns. Are they scary or not?
Yes.
What? Jeez. What's that? I don't know the what's that phobia if you're afraid of clowns?
Is there a phobia? There's a phobia for everything. What am I talking about?
Oh, I thought seriophobia was when like you're scared of people named Sarah. So maybe I got that all mixed up. Oh my God! Welcome back, Will. Will's such a handsome guy. If I went into a machine and came out Caucasian, I would look like Will. That would
Yoni,
be
you
my hope.
are extremely handsome as well. So
I know.
I hope you
I am
find
very
that
lucky
machine
right
someday.
now. I'm very lucky.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're running out of twists. So let's get to this clown thing. Of course, the most famous clown ever is the It Clown, right?
Definitely Pennywise all the way. Pennywise all the way. We had Tim Curry originally, then Bill Skarsgård as the newer one in 2017. Yeah, he was pretty horrifying. Oh, I thought it froze. We have our little child. I forgot the actor's name, but he is searching for his boat, running after his boat,
Mhm.
and up pops Pennywise.
That scene made me not want to look in sewers because in Miami we have the big sewer drains, and I would just walk by and never look. And then one time I had a puppy, and it got stuck in the sewer drain, and I immediately ran and got help because that puppy was just gonna die. Uh, yeah, I wasn't gonna do the stereotypical horror movie. Hey, my puppy's down there. Are you okay, boy? And stick my head and hand in there and get snatched into the drain. Yeah, I wasn't doing that.
You ran away and left your puppy there for a little while?
Yeah, I got an adult like every kid should do. What was I going to do at 7 years old? Lift the cover, and save
Oh,
the
that
puppy?
must have been terrifying, Keone. That must have been traumatizing.
For the puppy? I was perfectly
I
safe.
was going to say for the puppy it was.
For you
Traumatizing.
also having to
Huh?
leave your puppy there for a minute and
I
like,
just went. This is the thing with people. I just went across the street and knocked on the door and got an adult. It wasn't traumatizing. I was like, oh, I didn't say shit because I was a kid. I was like, oh no, my puppy. I ran across the street. Hey, Mr. Johnson, my puppy fell in the thing. Can you help me? Sure. And we went out there and he pulled it out and got the puppy.
wow,
But if you sit there and cry for 30 minutes, you're going to be traumatized.
that is true. That is true. Well, in it, Stephen King, all the kids are pretty tough, I would say, in my opinion.
Well,
They
they're
all
allowed
have
to
your
play at night
gusto.
in the rain.
What'd you say, Will?
They're allowed to play at night in the rain. So
They're
yeah,
allowed to play at night in the rain and then be surprised when they put a boat in water that's moving fast, that the boat moves fast. And then apparently when you're a kid and you're running, you can't see a giant stand in the way. So it's going to hit you in the head.
I know. Oh my goodness. You know, and when you watch it for the first time, you don't know if at that point Pennywise will pop up. You don't know if the kid's even going to make it.
Mhm.
But we won't spoil it because
We won't spoil it, but Pennywise, speaking of Pennywise, he got creepier. To me, he got creepier. Oh, this is like you said, this could be cute. That's just terrifying.
no, not cute.
Nothing cute about that.
No
I-
cuteness here.
well,
No.
silly at some point, like when he was silly at certain points, like that. That's a little silly. Then again, if I was there in real life, like you guys always put me to the test. You know what is really funny? Just to like go off topic for just humor me for a minute. This weekend, I filmed in South Carolina, and we had to stay in. We were filming in like a big house in the woods, and I was thinking of you guys. So we're driving up on a dirt road, and there's no cell service.
Uh,
Black, and it's a horror, and it was about racism, and it was so like I was like, Oh, and there were so many weird things that happened. I'll talk about that another time. But I thought of us in our discussion last week, and you guys saying, "Would you be willing to stay overnight?" Well, I had no choice. I couldn't even call to get a Uber if I wanted to. So because we stayed, it was like a Airbnb, and so we stayed in the same location because we were there. You couldn't even order like a pizza. It was like 30. Everything was like 30 minutes away. Anyway, it's horrifying, horrifying, pitch black. I was like on my toes the entire time.
How many bedrooms was that house?
4.
See, I'm the person, if we have to do that, I get to pick which room that we're going to have. So I'm not getting the room closest to the back door and front door. And people might say, well, that's the fastest way to escape. No, that's the first person that gets killed. Number one, you're giving me a middle room because when I hear Stephanie scream as Will being Captain Save Everyone is going to run towards her room, I'll be running outside.
Get the car started. Get the car started.
There you go. And Will, when you hear that car start, you need to have a clock in your head, a timer that says, I got about 15 seconds before. Okay. So if you go in Stephanie's room and she's already 3 stabs in, make a U-turn and go. If there's any way you can save her, then do that.
15 seconds. Got it.
15 seconds.
I would feel very safe with the 2 of you, actually. But Keone, I actually did pick the middle room, the smallest room, because the door to the room was the smallest, and I don't even know why. I just after I was like, I picked the worst room, but it was the middle room, so maybe I did something right.
Yeah, you did something right. You got the small door; it's gonna be hard for them to get in.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Once they get in, you can get around them. You know what's so funny? My nephew, when I had my 5-bedroom house, we actually used to practice this if he was ever home alone, because he was 14 at the time, how to get out for a home invasion. And I don't know if people do that. So he stayed on the top floor, and he had a knife that I gave him that he had under his pillow. And I always told him, if somebody came into your room and grab him, you're going to stab him and then you're going to run. I said, don't run outside because, number one, you have no idea how many people are around. So I told him, he runs in my room because there's a door to my room, and then there's a door to my bathroom, and then there's a door to the toilet. So they've got to get through 3 doors. You should be able to call 911 by then.
Wow.
Yes. And I always told him, when you call 911, always say, hey, someone's in my house and I'm a white kid home alone. And the police will get there in like 5 seconds.
Probably not wrong. There's probably a difference.
Oh my goodness. I will remember that. I never practiced a home invasion.
Oh, you always got, because you know what the thing is, when something happens, the first thing you're going to be is shocked. But if you practice something, your training will kick in, like with anything.
Yeah.
You know, like with anything, you're all seasoned actors and done things. Sometimes when you forget a line, your improv instincts kicks in real quick, and you keep going. It's just that training, you know, that muscle memory.
Muscle memory.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely interesting.
Oh, God. What do we got?
Home invasions are horrifying.
What do we got?
Movies. Those are tough.
That's a big clown.
Like, why is this clown in the middle of nowhere? Why are you not running?
Oh, Twisty.
What are you doing?
Twisty the clown. Twisty. You're watching Twisty, right? I can't see it, but you're watching Twisty, right?
Yeah.
And then the boyfriend walks up like, hey, dude.
Why are the 2 of you get to watch it and I don't?
I don't know. You're not looking at the live view?
It's not on there. That's okay. Twisty the Clown is supposed to be one of the most iconic villains and nightmarish villains. And he was from season 4, American Horror Story Freak Show. And he also made a reappearance on season 7, Cult. And Twisty is, a crazy clown. Don't mess with Twisty.
Those are like, he's got juggling props, right? Those are like juggling batons or something that he pulls out of that bag.
Yeah, it looks like mini bats.
right? Yeah, exactly. I see a weapon. He's
Bowling
got 3 of them.
pins? They look like bowling pins.
Yeah, kind of
Oh
like a bowling
yeah.
pin.
Yeah, well, no,
Or
they look like the things that
yeah, like you juggle them, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he uses them
To beat people in the skull.
beat, to knock them out so he can later stab them.
Well,
But
see, that's
yeah,
a
there's
couple
no
of
way.
things. There's a couple of red flags. Number one, why does a clown have juggling devices? He's not a juggler. Uh, it's not even one of those cute clowns that's smiling that you might go, oh, which still is ridiculous because it's in the middle of nowhere. But that clown is dirty and it has an evil face.
Right.
Like,
And he's huge. It's a big dude.
and not to be, racial again, but again, white people, run. Okay, run. There's nothing wrong with running. Okay? Just
They're maybe trying to give the benefit of the doubt.
what is this? What's going on here? I have to investigate. Like, no, you don't. You don't have to investigate.
That's
go.
it's the danger in telling your kid, like as you're growing up and you learn manners, right? It's the danger in telling your kids to always be polite. Like maybe this one was told to be nice to strangers. Don't
Right. Don't judge.
don't judge.
Well, there's a difference between Stephanie walking up and saying hello to you when you're 12 as opposed to a dirty, dingy, nasty, ugly, evil looking clown.
Yeah, with really bad makeup. He's bad makeup.
There's just certain things in life that should alert you. I think I said it earlier. I don't know. I may have said it on the suspended one, where a clown in the middle of nowhere is a red flag. Just like on a Disney cruise, if there's a single guy there by himself, that's a red flag. Okay?
Absolutely.
Red flag. There's just certain things in life that are red flags. A guy in August who walks around with a long, heavy trench coat, it's a red flag. Okay, August, it's a red flag. There's just red flags in life.
For sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then, of
Clowns,
course,
unless they're at the circus, I would say.
you know what? You don't take offense to this, Stephanie. And Will, I just want you to look at her for a second. Stephanie does sometimes when she laughs have an evil looking laugh. And it looks like you could play like the psycho killer lady in a movie.
I
But
get
you're like a sweetheart. But you do have the look where you like.
There it is. That's the laugh.
Just look at her smiling. Like she just looks evil.
It's so good. Oh my gosh. That laugh is crazy. How do you do that?
Hence my character that I keep getting cast at, and now I know why. Thank you, people. I wondered why I can't just be like a good mom, a nice detective.
No, you're the mom that drowns her 4 kids. To sacrifice for
Gosh,
an imaginary
Right.
voice.
My dream role. I'm just kidding.
What is going on?
That laugh does
It is
resonate.
fun.
Like you do it really well.
Sorry, thank you. It is fun to play an evil character though, because you can just go anywhere with it, right?
What about this one that we have up now, the House of Clowns, the traveling? Is that a real traveling haunted house, or that's the name of the show?
That's it's House of Clowns. I don't think it's. I actually think it was based off a real. Everything's based off something real, but yeah, it was based off a real traveling house, a real haunted attraction in American Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is you agree to stay. The contestants agree to stay overnight, and this is another what we talked about last time. They agree to stay overnight and be locked in, and that's how you can, I guess, win if you make it through the night. And it's like a little prison, and you can imagine the outcome.
I can't do those survive the night things. Like I need to sleep.
Yeah.
I can't be worried about things.
I agree.
I think we talked about that last episode when I talked about the haunted houses where they would actually have like different. They do one in this place where we're in Fayetteville. Out in the country is where the worst and scariest haunted houses are because they can do the corn mazes.
Right.
Get it away from me. I don't want to run through a cornfield with things chasing me. I just don't want to do it. And they had 3 entrances to the haunted house. One was like the standard entrance, one was mid-level, and one was like advanced. And you had to sign a waiver to go in the advanced one because all kinds of stuff was happening in there. People were coming out with fake blood on them. Like you waived all rights for everything. People had fake blood thrown on them. People were snatched and carried away.
No, 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 no. For fun, this is not fun for me. No.
There's
I
some
kind of
people
want to
that
see
find
one of
that
those
fun.
waivers.
You said
You know,
what?
I kind of want to see the waiver. Like, does anyone
really.
even read it, or do they just sign it because they're so excited to be there?
I think most of them know about it, have gone there. It says stuff like, you waive the right for damages of clothing, injury, bruises, like all that stuff, because things are going to get happen. There was one, because my friend, you're not supposed to video, but my friend videoed. He had his cell phone, of course, because there's always someone not doing it. And this guy dressed as a werewolf just ran through howling and just knocked them all over and kept running. He just came out of nowhere, boom. And it's so dark in there, like the people that are working there can see, but you can't see.
Right.
And so they see everything clearly, and he just ran through them like a bowling ball, knocked them all down, and kept going.
No, thank you. No, I mean, you'd have to pay me a lot of money to even participate in a film like that. No.
Says the lady who wants to talk about clowns today.
I was inspired by Will, just so you know.
Oh, clowns is a Will thing.
Well, we were inspired by Homie the Clown was one of them, but some other clowns. Well, isn't it not? I love the fact that he just like beats the children.
Yes.
Shut up.
I don't think so.
The best is when he goes,
Great
all right,
actor.
kids. He has like 4 or 5 kids in front of him, and he goes, okay, kids, y'all want to see stars? And they're like, yeah, we want to see stars. So he puts a box over their heads, and then he whacks the box.
Yes.
And he's like, you see stars now?
Oh my god.
Homie, don't play that.
Homie, don't play that.
Yeah, him and Krusty. Him and Krusty, I think, are the only 2 clowns I like. Everything after that, you can have it. You can keep it. I don't care if it's Bozo, whatever. You talked about a guy who dresses up as Pennywise and actually calls people and tells them their IP address or something, right?
Yeah, he's on Omegle, right? Is that one of the things? People are Omegle. It's called the site.
I don't know. You were telling
Yeah,
me.
it's like a chat,
Mhm.
and then you don't know who you're gonna get, and then he shows up. You're looking at Pennywise, and then he tells you what town you're in because he looks up your IP address, and people they go crazy. Some of them laugh. Some of them are like, nope, and they X out.
Nope, not doing it.
I wouldn't do it.
Really very
Doing
strange.
it because with my luck, I'll get the supernatural one, not the guy that's playing around. That's
The guy that follows through.
You gotta mitigate risks in life. That's what you gotta do. You gotta mitigate life risks. You never hear black person fell from death from climbing Everest, or how many times have you heard black person bitten by shark? You never hear these things for a reason. We're like, fuck that.
Smart.
And people go, well, you need to be more adventurous. I'm a
No.
black man in the South. I am adventurous.
Yeah,
No,
right.
yeah,
There you go.
I agree with you, Q.
Every day is an
Adventure's
adventure.
overrated. What do you think about the movie Candyman, where like they say this thing over and over? The word they just say Candyman like 3 times. Is that the deal? And then Candyman will appear. Would you look in your mirror after watching that movie and test it out?
That one did stick with me. I remember there's been a couple of Candymans, right? Like from the 90s, and then there's recently one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one always creeped me out because I would play basketball at parks that had restrooms that looked like the dang restrooms in the movie.
Yeah. You got the Candymans, the Bloody Marys.
You know?
I never did any of the only name I'll say over again is Beetlejuice. But other than I will almost spit out. Candyman and the Bloody Marys and all that used to have me so shook that during Hurricane Andrew, when we had no electricity and we had candles, candles make everything creepier, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I would be in the bathroom. I told this story before on another one of our shows, and I would brush my teeth, and this would be me the whole time. I'd never look in the mirror. I'd rinse, spit, grab the towel, dry, and just walk out because I always felt like if I looked up, there was going to be something standing behind me.
You wouldn't look.
You know the movies where they look in the mirror and there's nothing, and then they turn away and look back and something's
Oh
behind
my goodness,
them?
those
Like,
are
yeah, yeah.
horrifying. That's
Not
that's
even like,
really neat filming tool to use. Yeah, that
not
definitely
even like a
works.
little peek. You wouldn't like.
No, for what? If I don't see it, like I saw a ghost twice in my life, and I just pretended I didn't see it. I'm not going to make you aware that I notice you.
That's the Michael Myers technique that never works. The kids see Michael Myers and then they go like this because the parents tell them to close their eyes. They shake their head and then he's gone. That
Yeah.
doesn't work.
There's a difference in a holographical looking image than a real life person
Oh
in
yeah, true.
front of you. That's the one where you got to run to, and
True.
not in a circle. Don't circle back. Run in a straight line. That's how you defeat Jason, and that's how you defeat Michael Myers. Run in a straight line and never come back.
That
Just
car's
run.
leaving in 15 seconds. That car's
Yes, it's
gone.
2022. Go to another city, get a house, change your postal code, and send movers to get your stuff. You don't have to be there physically. Hire a company that will go in and pack your stuff
Oh my God.
and bring it to you. If it's spiritual, if it's an anomaly, just leave the shit there because it might come with it. So just go to a different city and just leave it there. It's gone. It's not yours anymore.
So Keone, I guess I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So say there's like a house on foreclosure that's like $1 million home and you can get it for a quarter of the price. But full disclosure, some people might have gotten killed by
No.
ghosts in there.
You don't have to finish your scenario. No. I don't do Indian burial grounds that I know of. I don't do 5 people were slain in this house. I don't need angry spirits who want retribution or are pissed off because people move into those houses and a cabinet closes by itself. And what do they do? Oh, must have been the wind. Ain't a damn window open, but it must have been the wind.
Oh my goodness.
What if
Did you
it's
ever
like-
hear these people? I want to get to something that you're making me think of, the movie Master, actually, but before I do that, this frogging, I watched a movie with the frogging. You know, the people that live in the walls or in a part of the house that isn't really used, and they'll come out and do things like that. Take things, move things. You never heard of frogging?
No.
No.
I mean, that activity used to just be like messing with my friends. You know, we take all the knobs off the stove and hide them.
It's,
You know,
it's
that's the thing, Will. Things have names now that we used to just think was regular old.
Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah.
frogging. It's like somebody could be living in your walls. There's a few movies based off frogging.
Oh no, but that's actually a thing that's happened where people have had people living in their attic and
Yeah.
they hear noises and they think, oh, it's an old attic, it's the house settling. What do you mean the house settling? The house is 30 years old. It's settled already.
That's frogging. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds so crazy.
It is
Yeah.
creepy, bro.
Yeah.
It's very
But
creepy.
so the movie Master, starring Regina Hall, was
Hold on. Wait.
oh, okay, sorry.
We can't get the master yet. I'm working behind the scenes.
Okay. Do you want to? That was there was another really scary how well this was like an apartment building. The Tenant.
Oh.
Roman Polanski has made a million great films. I don't know if you guys have seen Roman Polanski.
I did watch some trailer features from that, and I that's the one that has an actress that stood out to me.
Oh yeah, he did like Chinatown. He did Rosemary's Baby. He did Repulsion. Rosemary's Baby was another weird apartment building where did Keone freeze now?
Yeah, I think so. All
Yeah.
right.
So tell us about the actress that you liked in Tenet.
So I had to look her up. As soon as I saw her, I was like, "Who's that?" It's Isabel Adjani,
Okay.
and she plays um, I can't remember her name now in the oh, Stella. She plays Stella, and her friend is Simone, who gets really banged up and is in the hospital bed.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Okay, her intensity with her sorrow and her grieving over Simone, it's so capturing. I was drawn to her right away. And then Polanski is just like this
Oh, the top.
really
Yeah.
smooth, excellent timing, deliverer of his dialogue. The two next to each other, I like it. It brought me in immediately. I was really impressed. I can't wait to sit down and give it a good watch now after seeing that trailer.
Yeah, everything by Roman Polanski is really good. I know he's a very controversial figure, and I think he got like kicked out of the United States, kind of like Charlie Chaplin at one point, I believe. But in any event, his films, like he uses what we were talking about, that old way of suspense and
Yeah.
camera angles and things like that. And he always uses beautiful people, so you can be sure there's going to be some gorgeous people in all of his films. And he deals with phobias in all of those films, I believe, that I just mentioned, like the repulsion, uh, androphobia, the fear of interaction with men, actually. I didn't see that one, but Rosemary's Baby was also like this enclosed space where they were all like, the story, they were all like devils.
Oh
Um,
wow. No, I don't know that one.
yeah, Rosemary's Baby was it was at the filmed at the Dakota House, and real actors and artists live there, like John
Oh.
Legend, John Lennon, John Legend, was, maybe him too, but Lauren Bacall, Gilda Radner, they lived in this, and it had like this, gothic vibe, and they filmed a lot of movies there. Rocky Horror was filmed there.
Imagine all that talent walking around just doing normal human stuff, eating, snacking, laying around, reading a book. Like that energy must have been so unique,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, just whoever owned it liked that vibe of having artists.
Constant entertainment.
Yeah, right. Pretty cool. So yeah, but Tenet had some, I guess, prejudices in it, where they were kind of giving him some hell, I guess, for being French, and then there was some like rude comments about a disabled person in there. So I thought it was interesting because and also his name was Tchaikovsky,
Right.
and I kept thinking, am I hearing that right, Tchaikovsky?
That sounds
Uh,
about right.
yeah, interesting name, Tchaikovsky. You don't know a lot of Tchaikovskys, do you?
Well, and the old man in the hotel that's talking to him about getting a room in the beginning, he lists stereotypes right away. He's talking about how bachelors are problematic,
Oh yes.
and noisy. So right, you see the standard that's set initially, and then like the next scene in the trailer is he's in his room with like a bunch of neighbors and they're lollygagging and making a bunch of noise. So you can kind of see it like a contrast right away from what was expected to be behavior and then to what it became, almost like the first week that he lived there.
Oh yeah. And there's another clip where the landlord, I guess, confronts him, and he's like, "I told you about no women,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is gonna happen." And he's looking at him like, "What are you
What are you
talking about?"
talking about? Yeah.
And then he's finding like all this ghost like stuff happening. I guess Simone's spirit. Not really sure what's going on, but all these weird happenings.
Doesn't he finds some women's garments in his closet, right?
Yeah, in his closet, in the suitcase, all throughout. Yeah, yeah, but definitely a really great director to watch.
So I got a question for you in regards to horror movies. Are there any screams that stand out? Because Simone's scream from the hospital bed in that movie is like, I had to turn down the speaker real quick because
Oh
it
yeah,
started to kind of get to me.
yeah. Not a big fan of too much screaming. At that part, yeah. But she was, and hers was specifically horrifying because of the circumstances that she's under. She's all bandaged up,
Yeah, it was very painful.
very painful. So you can really hear that in it. But even when I'm watching like regular like this is a real subtle kind of horror. So when that scream happens, it's particularly disturbing.
Right.
But just like the straight up kills when everyone's screaming, 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 I'm like, okay, that's why I like the old movies, the subtleness, the face expressions and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Definitely. Master, yeah, I really wanted to get John's take on this, but I guess he left us. So
He's not coming back.
not coming back. All right.
That one looks really interesting.
Yeah, so Master stars Regina Hall, who's an amazing actress. One of the rooms is supposed to be haunted. The movie has a real creepy atmosphere. What I got confused about was where they were going with it. So, it was a horror. It tackled racism. It tackled, a black student in a white Ivy League on an Ivy League campus, and just a few black instructors. And the headmaster is Regina Hall, and how she's kind of struggling with her position there and what she represents in her role. So the thing is, it kind of puts the student, Jasmine, who's played by Zoe Renee, in this haunted room. But then it tries to do like 6 other things. So I'm like, what is this? And where do we end up? And the ending is terrible. But I guess maybe it represents that things are not resolved in the world. So yeah.
That kind of undeniable chemistry between Regina and Zoe, it's so evident right away in the classroom scene when Regina, as the professor, is telling the students about how that building is as old as the country, and there's going to be some things that are just there. She says that to the whole class, but Zoe's character is the only one who kind of acknowledges it as like a humorous, maybe a joke, is how she perceived it. But no one else in the classroom responds that way. I saw that right away, and I thought, okay, that's a cool connection that this movie's given me, like right away within the first few seconds of that interaction. And then it carries on because you get to see what Regina's character is going through, the process of that older gentleman who's painting her. Paintings always bring depth to a movie, I feel like, when there's like a portrait being, from the Titanic, that was good. And then Great Expectations, there was painting of a woman. It always like makes it special. But then Zoe's like making friends on campus, and these students are telling her, you got a strange room, that, right? She's like, whatever, I don't buy it. Like there's so many. I can't wait to watch that one as well. I want to sit down and give it a good view too.
Yeah, definitely love to hear the thought on the conclusion of it, because that was where it lost me. And I bet if John was back, he would say, she should have left. She should have left because she didn't leave.
Of all the schools out there.
she should have left as soon as she found out that it was haunted, or she gets like a couple of signs, like they do things, or they do bad things. And there were like 3 times when you're like, okay, she needs to like take this seriously and leave. But they painted her as a very innocent, suburban, brought up girl who just didn't really see the world didn't really see things in the way that they were really being. Like, she was a little bit naive, I guess.
A little naive, yeah.
Yeah, and it would have been nice to see a little bit more about the depth of that. But I love that it did try to tackle racism, bias, implicit bias, because sometimes people don't realize that they have these biases. So I like that it tackled all that stuff. I just wish that for a movie's sake, it would have had a happier ending, I guess. Let's just.
Gotcha. Okay. John he would have said she didn't assess her risks enough, or
Yes.
thoroughly.
We'll answer for John. That's probably like,
risk to benefit ratio, not good on her part.
all right. It's so great to work with you on these shows. We gotta plan for the next one too.
Yeah, what's up next?
We have lots of things up next, so
Okay.
we will chat off screen on what's up next. But wait, we didn't rate the clowns.
Oh, okay.
Let's
do that.
so as far as like just most scary, would you put Pennywise or Twisty or only the clown or the clown from we only had those four. What was the other clown? The
We're
clown
talking
from
about Krusty from The Simpsons, but he's not very scary.
No. Which one was the most horrifying?
I need some more data from Twisty, so I'll have to watch that season. But Pennywise, that one just every time those eyes, the makeup, his kind of demeanor, it ruins me. That one's my top pick for scary clowns.
All right, first place, Pennywise. It's hard to beat anything by Stephen King, so I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And Twisty is definitely coming in close. But you saw Killer Clowns.
Mm-hmm.
What was that about? Killer Clowns?
From outer space, they put you in like a cotton candy cocoon, and then they poke it with a straw and drink your blood.
So that was not scary, I'm assuming.
I laughed sometimes, and I think depending on like my mood and what scene was on, because my brother would just keep it on, I would be bothered by it. I didn't like the idea of it was hard to eat cotton candy sometimes, and in Santa Cruz, California on the boardwalk, cotton candy's like everywhere. So I'm like,
But does not even make our top 3 in scary clowns, I don't think.
They're still silly. They had like big goofy shoes on and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with big goofy shoes doesn't mean they're not going to be scary though.
This is true.
Absolutely. All right, very good then. Let's see if we can end the show, and I'll see you next time. I don't know if I have the power to do that. Just,
close the tab out, I guess.
Bye.
All right, it's good seeing you. This was fun.
Seeing you too. Thanks, Will. We'll until next time.
Until next time.
All right. Take care.
Bye. Have a good one.